So I'm not entirely sure how long I'm going to do this, because it's a little difficult to, describe what's happening while it's happening, without stopping it from happening, but I will give it my best shot. Okay, so I'm using, a flosser. It's basically a clothing tag, for all intents and purposes. And I'm just, tickling the, top and kind of far back, but not insanely far. And then, it tickles mostly on the top, and it's very direct, it's mostly just that spot. It's anywhere that it touches. And it's like a pinprick itch. It's just radiating out from that spot. I find that generally I have multiple spots, sneezy spots, I suppose, where if I manage to hit one, it'll send a tickle throughout my nose. It just, that specific spot, anything touching it will just kind of itch, and I have to use that one by touching it with the, flosser, clothing tag, napkin, whatever, and just keep gently rubbing against it and coaxing it into turning into a full sneeze. And when the actual sneeze starts, it spreads to the whole nostril, and I can feel it tickling everywhere as it spreads deeper. Well, the tickle, at least when I'm, using a rolled up tissue or a floss or whatever, will normally stay in the side that I'm tickling. It'll burn wherever not burn, but itch wherever it touches, but it doesn't really move to the other side, which is a little bit different from, if it's just a natural one, or allergies, or the powder, or anything. But with this, it tickles, on the inside, mostly on the top inside wall, towards the middle. The outside is a little harder to get. I just have to find a spot and then keep touching it, and it'll start to itch more and more until that. When the tickle is particularly bad, it'll go to my eyes a little bit. It'll start watering, but that normally happens mostly with the powder, or if I've had a lot of false starts, which I am quite prone to. like that, but I tend to get mostly like the sensation starts slowly, like it tickles a bit where it touches, but it's very external until I keep going, and then I can feel it getting deeper into my nose, and that's when I can tell that I might sneeze. Sometimes it's slow, and other times it's really fast. I think it depends on the spot and how much I've been using it already. The fresher the particular spot is, the more intense the tickle will come on. I think that's all I'm gonna get from manual inducing at this moment. But I will try the powder, and it's a very different type of sensation, so maybe that'll be enjoyable. Try to explain the difference. Okay, so just took some powder, and right away it tickles throughout like the entire nostril that I sniffed it in, and it starts building up right away. It normally doesn't take very long, but the burning is throughout like the entire thing, which is a lot different than manual inducing, where it's only where I touch. Only got one from the powder this time. Sometimes it works better than others, but afterwards I think I'm usually a little, it's weird, a mixture of more sensitive and less, because like my entire nose is kind of itchy, so it's hard to find the spot, but when I do, it tends to be a bit more sensitive. And the sneeze is actually starting. It's the tickle is a lot softer, like it is a bit sharp, not sharp, but it's a bit like prickly. Oh, when I'm manually inducing, but when it's actually building up, it's softer, softer. Softer. It just kind of radiates off the spot that I'm using, and and we'll start to like go further back into my nose. And I can tell that I'm actually gonna sneeze, or at least build up to one. Not that it's more than just the tickle, because it's so intense. And it starts like changing from a slight like pinprick to a like feathery sensation. And that's how I can tell that I'm actually gonna sneeze. I don't really know if any of this makes a lot of sense, but hopefully it's somewhat close to what you wanted. I'm kind of half stifling a bit, a little bit by accident. But yeah, it's like currently I found one spot that really tickles. Every time I touch it, it just tickles more, and like burns a little bit, but not in a bad way, like the way that something does when it's itchy. And I can feel it in my nose. Specifically, I'm using the left nostril. That one's always a little more sensitive. yeah, I hope that's at least somewhat what you wanted. I'm not super familiar with exactly how to describe the tickle, but I tried what I could. And if you or anyone else wants anything else or more specifically has a request of how to talk about this or anything, let me know, and I'll try to fill it when I can. Thanks for listening.